How do you keep a conversation alive? Even when your mind suddenly goes blank, how do you respond when someone asks you about a topic you don't know much about, and silence threatens to shut everything down? This is the real challenge in English chats, not vocabulary tests, not grammar quizzes, but those unscripted moments when curiosity meets uncertainty. Today, we step inside those moments. We explore how to turn confusion into connection. We learn phrases that do not push people away, but instead invite them in. Phrases that make you sound engaged, curious, and confident, even when you don't have all the answers. Imagine this: you're in a cafe chat with an English-speaking colleague. She suddenly asks, "Hey, what do you think about cryptocurrency?" And there it is, the silence, the freeze, the brain lock. You know the word maybe. You've seen it in headlines. But explain it, discuss it. That feels impossible. The place where most learners panic, nod awkwardly, or change the subject too fast. The first truth is this: you do not need to be an expert to be part of the conversation. You only need to show interest, and interest can be communicated with simple, elegant phrases. Here are some engaging ones. "That's an interesting topic. I don't know much, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. I've heard about it, but I'm not too familiar. Honestly, I haven't explored that yet. Can you tell me more?" Notice the rhythm. Each phrase is like a bridge. It admits not knowing, but opens space for the other person to lead, and people love to share what they know. Here's the real fear many learners carry. If I admit I don't know, will I sound stupid? That fear is heavy. It stops conversations before they even begin, but research in communication tells us something surprising. Admitting what you don't know often builds trust, because people don't remember your lack of knowledge, they remember your attitude. Here are confidence-building ways to admit uncertainty. "I'm not sure, but it sounds fascinating. How did you first get into it?" "I haven't really followed that topic. What's the most important thing I should know?" "That's new to me, but I'd love to understand how it works." Each phrase shifts the focus. Instead of you being tested, it becomes them sharing. Instead of silence, you get a story, and stories keep conversations alive. Sometimes the problem isn't silence. Sometimes it's the opposite. The other person starts talking and keeps going. They explain in detail a subject you can barely follow. Every sentence feels like a wave crashing over your head. The temptation is to nod, smile, and let it pass. But inside, frustration grows. You're there, but not really present. Instead of drowning in overload, you can use light touch questions that show attention and slow the pace. "That sounds complicated. Can you explain it in simpler words?" "So if I understand right, you mean repeat one small piece they said." "That's a lot of information. What's the main point?" These phrases do two things. They help you catch up, and they let the other person feel heard. Because reflecting even a small part of their words shows you're trying, and trying builds connection. Now imagine you're at a party. Someone starts talking about car engines, or politics, or high-level science. You feel lost, maybe even bored, but you don't want to sound rude by saying, "I don't care." Here are phrases that shift smoothly. "That's interesting. It actually makes me think of something else." "Wow, I never knew that. By the way, how's your project going?" "That's cool. It reminds me, did you hear about new topic?" The trick is in rhythm. First acknowledge, then connect, finally pivot. That way the other person doesn't feel dismissed. They feel like the conversation is still flowing, just in a new direction. There will be times when someone asks you directly for your opinion, not a story, not information, your personal view. What's your take on this? What do you think we should do? What side are you on? This is the spotlight moment, and many learners freeze here too. Instead of freezing, try these time-buying phrases. That's a good question. Let me think for a second. I'm not sure yet. What are the options again? These give your brain seconds to breathe, and often those seconds are enough to find a clear response. The person who explains everything as if they were teaching a class, even when you didn't ask, even when you're tired. It feels hard to escape without sounding rude. Here are polite exit lines. That's really useful. I'll need to think about it more later. Thanks for explaining that. I should get back to other tasks, but I learned a lot. Interesting. Let's continue this another time. These are respectful. They close the loop without burning bridges. They let you step out without awkwardness. In chats, sometimes the topic isn't even the problem. The problem is your brain betrays you. The word you need, it's there somewhere, but you can't pull it out. And in that silence, panic grows. Here's what to do, describe. It's like the thing you used to. Gesture, use your hands. Show shape, action, or size. Ask, how do you call it in English? Most listeners are patient. Most want to help. And often, the shared effort becomes a bonding moment. Not every chat is meant to last forever, but many learners fear that ending it will sound rude, so they stay longer awkwardly, wishing they knew how to exit. Here are smooth exits. This was a great chat. I have to go now, but let's catch up again soon. Thanks for sharing all that. I'll think more about it. I really enjoyed talking. Hope we can continue next time. These end with warmth, not abruptness. They leave the door open for the future. Now let's step back. Notice the rhythm of all these strategies. Short phrases, long reflections, medium transitions. Each one keeps the ear interested. Each one avoids the monotony of one-length sentences. This is how you create flow. This is how you create trust. So let's return to the opening question. How do you keep a conversation alive when you don't know the topic? The answer is simple but powerful. You don't need all the knowledge. You just need the phrases that keep doors open, the curiosity that invites stories, and the rhythm that makes people want to stay. Because in the end, English isn't about perfect grammar or memorized answers. It's about connection. And connection grows not from what you know, but from how you listen, how you respond, and how you care. So the next time you face that blank moment, don't freeze. Choose curiosity. Choose connection.